Hello, I'm Matthew Cruzy. This is a review of my CIS 189 final project for Python. So for this project, I worked on submitting a stock ticker symbol and using a web scraper to pull financial data of that one to be used on further evaluation of the company to be invested in. So in this project, we have, um, this is our main web scraper here. So first step in this project was getting this to work properly in the modules itself. So we had to import a few libraries, and a lot of what this code does is it starts out with collecting this data, and you import a ticker symbol in there. And if the ticker symbol doesn't exist, there's a few different codes that it'll throw back at the user to tell them that, hey, there was an issue trying to get this data, or here's the information you're looking for. So this was kind of a main bread and butter of this program. And I can do a quick little demo of this. Nope, that is not that what I was looking for. I thought that clicked it. There you go. So we can go in and IBM. Well, I know IBM is the sticker symbol for IBM. And it's just outputting to the screen all the data. So boom, this tells me that there's no issues in collecting that. This is the stock ticker. I spent a lot of time trying to find how to get the real name of the company. So like for AAPL, it's Apple Incorporated. And I had a lot of difficulties trying to do that. So for the focus of this project, I kind of let that aside because I went with the understanding that if you're using this tool, you already have an idea of what the stock ticker symbol is. And a lot of times it's really easy to look up what the company name is based on the stock ticker. So we get back these numbers from the websites, from the different websites. So we have financial websites, we have statistics websites that this is pulling that data from. Also, part of this code down here, it's writing it to a file. I wanted to make sure that I can save and make sure, later on when you're building onto that, you can do that. So if I run it again, AAPL, which is Apple, it's going through it. And all this data is being used in there. So if I open this up, why? Do. Oh, yeah, it did write to it because it wrote to the bottom. That's how silly Matt. It wrote to the bottom. It's been a long night. So we know that that part's working. Next, what we wanted to focus on was the GUI aspect, because the main project for this project, you want to be a part of a GUI. So if we run that, it's using the fetch data. So this one, you can, a few different buttons. Right now, there's no data in here. There's no companies that you're looking for. But likewise, so T, which is AT&T, outputs to here, and then there's no issues, and then this is the information that you're looking for. You can also upload something, so that data document that I was working on. These are what was in there. And to give an example, this stock ticker doesn't exist. It used to exist, but it doesn't exist anymore. And so we got a throwback here, and these are zeros. One of the things that I would like to do in the future for this project is either, if this is an invalid input, don't progress this far into it. The only reason is with it being connected to the internet, I want to make sure it wasn't an internet issue. So that's a different error versus if it is a true error, then it doesn't exist. So either be able to delete this whole row or prevent it from being added to it. And we can also save this file. So I'm going to name this test 1 because this is the other test. All right, and it's saved. So yeah, regardless of if you have anything in this window always pops up. Uploaded, so it's the same. So that test took me quite a bit of time because from uploading to saving, I needed to make sure that it was writing and reading in the same pattern. So I wanted to make sure that all these companies would be collected again. I want to make sure that all columns were collected because this is a grid. This actually took quite a bit of time to figure that out. Going through some of the save functions. So we had to break up the grid, and I couldn't figure out how to get the grid system to work without it screwing everything up. So what I ended up doing was I ended up making a master dictionary for this class, not for this file, and that is grid value, which is a dictionary and basically stores all the value of the grids, with each row being a different company and then each column being a different value that I wanted to collect. So that's how I basically then was able to write a save file, because instead of trying to get the value of each individual grid, I used a dictionary. And then for the upload, I didn't have to use a dictionary value, but when you upload, I found you still have to use a dictionary to be used later on for the save function. So you still have to use that. But when you're reading it into the thing, it was pretty simple to read the CSV and then input it into the grid. Similar into adding a company, is just one at a time. And then this is where, so for adding them one at a time or adding them all at once, I started making class objects on them. And the reason why each one becomes its own class object, this is the class of the stock information, where we have the ticker and then the attributes that we're looking at for further evaluations. We want to be able to calculate ROE and ROIC and a lot of other things. But for the scope of the project, I spent way too much time on the data scraper and the GUI to really be able to focus on a class. There is a class function, and we did do testing on it to validate that it works. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I like to continue working on this thing because it's just nice. It's just fun to have, especially when you're looking at investing in your retirement or for your individual investor portfolio. It's just nice to kind of have this information. This tool would be mostly used for long-term investors and not day-to-day investors, since the information you're pulling from is usually from that past quarter. It's not day-to-day information. And To get a better sense of how the company's doing, I would also like to pull data from 3 years and 5 years and 10 years if possible. But one of the issues I ran into was Yahoo Finance only keeps like the most up to I think a year, and beyond that you have to get a subscription to get access to a lot of information. So further working on this, if I wanted to do it free, would have to at this point find different websites to go and get that older information. So thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.